Here's a 1963 Chicago Coin official Spare Lite Bowler. I bought this from a guy who actually got it from another guy out of I think it was in Middleborough, Massachusetts, and I'm told that it came out of an arcade and that the previous owner had bought it from the operator of the arcade when it closed, and it sat in a barn for about 15 years before I got it. And it was pretty rusty. Looked like mice had been living in there. A lot of broken wires, a lot of mice nests, and a lot of, like I said, a lot of rust. The nice thing about it was that the cabinet was in relatively good condition. Didn't really have any issues with the wood coming apart or the cabinet coming apart or the glue coming apart. There were a couple areas where there were some issues, but it wasn't bad. And the graphics were very, very good. It needed a total electromechanical restoration, but as far as the cabinet paint, I didn't do much. I repainted the coin box, I repainted the ashtray, and I repainted the gutters, the orange and the gutters. But the graphics and the stain on the natural wood is all original. But you can see that, again, the graphics were really good. It didn't make sense to do a repaint on this game. I like to keep things original when I can. So the what I've replaced on it was the upper and the lower back glass are new reproduction back glasses from St. Louis Ball Bowler. All the parts came from St. Louis Ball Bowler. The pins are new. These chrome uprights are reproduction, and these chrome rails are reproduction. The balls are new. The shin guard here is also new in the front. And then there's some new rubber parts in the ball return box. I'll give you a little tour of the inside of these games and show you how complicated they are. This game is actually easy to work on because you have really good access to the panels, the score wheels. So that's the front of the game with the score wheels and the steppers. And then the back, again, easy to service. This wing flips up and you can get to the pin deck. And this pin deck was all full of rust. I had to take all the parts apart and I soaked them in Evaporust, and then I used steel wool and sandpaper and did the best I could to get it back. Doesn't look brand new, but I didn't want it to look brand new. I mean, the game is 50 years old, but everything operates as it should. Everything has been completely serviced. So that's the back door, and that's the front door. So this game has 18 score wheels, so it's a 6-player game, 3 score wheels for each player, and then it has a stepper, a strike spare stepper for each player. So that's how it remembers when you're playing a 6-player game. These are sort of the memory. It remembers the strikes and spares. This is for player 1. This is player 2. That's player 3. Player 4. Player 5. Player 6. This is the coin unit. Steps 6 times for the 6 players. This is the frame unit. It steps 10 times, obviously, for the frames. Actually, I'm sorry, that's the 10th frame unit. This one next to it is the frame unit. And this is the player unit. It cycles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. then it resets back to 1 when its player's 1 turn again. This is where all the Jones plugs are housed, all the wires, everything come together there. It's right on the bottom of the back box. This trip bank is mainly for recording when the pins are tripped from the switches underneath the playfield. And then behind this trip bank is another row of relays that mostly deal with the features of the game. And then this is the score motor. Most games have a score motor, pinball machines and arcade games. This is the flash unit. It's got a motor in it, and there's a wiper on the other side of this. And that's how the flash works. It just keeps spinning around. And when you score, it actually locks it in place. It's got like a little clutch on it. But that's the flash unit. This is the Strike or Bust. It's for the Strike or Bust game. And this is the Strike Star unit for that game. And this is the Selector Unit. So this unit here scrolls through the 6 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because it's got 6 different games. This is the main transformer, and this is like an auxiliary transformer that runs most of the lamps. It's a 6-volt transformer. Just because there's so much going on, a lot of power being consumed by this game for sure. And then in the back is the back box. That's where the ball return unit is. I can open it up, kind of show you what's going on in here. It's kind of hard to see, but the ball comes down here. There's an elevator right here, and the ball goes back up the elevator, and it gets delivered back to the front of the game through that hole. And then it has an electric motor. It's a little dark, but there's an electric motor with pulleys on it. So the back door has to be on the game for it to operate. Otherwise the ball just kind of goes flying out of the back of the game. The back door actually keeps the ball in the back box. So close it up and fire the game up. I'm going to shut the service light off. What I'll do is I'll put one player on it. See, the ball comes back, and then you can see in the back glass I'll scroll through the games. Right now it's on regulation. Beat the Champ, Flash-O-Matic, and you can see the lights flashing at the bottom. Select Strike, Dual Flash, 3-star. I think I'll play Flash-O-Matic. Either way, it doesn't matter. I can play a game of regulation too, but let's start with Flash-O-Matic. Fun game, especially if you get 6 players going. Get a couple of your friends down, drink some beers. That's the 1963 Chicago coin official Spare Lite Bowler. I also have a 1956 United's Matador ball bowler that is also 6-player, and it has 6 games on it. I can only keep one of the 2 bowlers. I don't have the room for both of them, so I need to decide which one I'm going to keep. I love the looks and the graphics of this one versus the Matador, but the Matador has a really neat game on it that I like, called Bonus, and I've only seen it on one other game, a United's Polaris. I believe it was made the same year, and it's basically identical to the Matador, except for the graphics were a little bit different, the colors were a little bit different, and they have a different name. But the bonus game, you earn bonus points during the throughout the frames, and like frames 1 through 7, you earn 300 bonus points for a strike and 200 bonus points for a spare, and then from frames 7 through 10 you get 600 bonus points for a strike and 400 for a spare. And after the game is over and you've accumulated all of your bonus points, let's say you've accumulated 3,000 bonus points throughout the game, after the 10th frame you shoot for your bonus points and they'll get added to your score. If you get a strike, you get the total 3,000 bonus points added to your score. If you get a spare, you get half of that, which is 1,500 added to your score. If you don't get a strike or a spare, you don't get anything added to your score. So it makes it interesting. If you're playing against somebody, you can come back from behind and win the game based on how many bonus points you've accumulated, or below, if you don't get a strike or a spare. So one of these 2 games is going to be available, and again I have to decide which one I want to let go. But just finished this up and wanted to make a video and put it out there. So you know, any of you guys out there that have ball bowlers, you're lucky. They're great games, they're a lot of fun, they just take up a lot of space. But as far as arcade games go, I mean, I think that they are these are the holy grail. Having a ball bowler in your collection, to me, I just didn't feel like I was complete until I had one. So I love these games and want to continue to keep these games alive and bring them back to life, and I'm willing to help anybody out there that's got one that needs some help. So let's keep it going. Take care.